Hi everyone, this is John from mythaireviews.com, and today I'm taking a look at an iPhone and iPod Touch app called Word Power Thai by a company called Innovative Language Learning LLC. It's $9.99 in the Apple App Store. Let's get to it.
So you can see in the Apple App Store that Word Power Thai only has 2.5 stars with 6 reviews, and I was a little bit curious as to why it would have such a low rating. I purchased it anyway because I really wanted to know what it was about. The description sounded interesting. It has approximately 2,000 words. It allows you to record your voice, although I won't be able to display that feature here because I have an iPod Touch and not an iPhone. There's no microphone on here. But I downloaded it and I couldn't figure out why on earth it was getting such low ratings because it seems like such a great app. And then I started discovering the flaws within, and in the written reviews, the only complaints people really have is that the teacher doesn't emphasize tone properly. Now, before I can show you the flaws that I've found within the app, I have to show you how it functions when it is operating correctly. Now, you have a lot of categories here. You go within a category, look for the English version of the word you want to say in Thai, and you can read it there in the Thai script and listen to it. So that's pretty handy, right? And then you can skip through the list here if you wanted to learn these. Let's say I particularly wanted to memorize how to say terminal in Thai. I can add this to my word bank, which we'll get back to later, and that's just a collection of my favorite words that I want to work on and test myself on later. If I had the iPhone version of this, I could hit record, pronounce the word, stop it, and play back my own speech and compare it to that of the instructor. So for the most part, this app is fantastic. I love the way it's laid out. I think it's extremely useful. This would go very well with another learning program such as Pimsleur's Thai. If you were to go on vacation and you could remember to say where is, but you couldn't remember how to say hotel, you could look it up in here. But here's the problem. Certain categories are arranged backwards. So here we have the romanization, or I should say the transliteration of Thai words. And then when you tap them, you can then see what the English meaning is. And that's an error on the part of the programmers here. So although I'm totally in love with this app and I think it's a fantastic idea and I think the way it's laid out is extremely useful, errors like that are disappointing, especially when you pay $9.99 for an app. But overall, I would say this app does deserve more than 2.5 stars. I would probably give it 4 stars. I specifically went out of my way here to point out some of the problems that it has. Now, I've only been using it for a few days, so there could be more errors that I haven't run into yet. But overall, it's functioned very well for me. And let's go into my word bank. I just put a few in here so you could see how this works. So I just collected words. Let's say there's something I really wanted to work on. Like I have no other alternative. And that's very helpful whether you know the words or not when you're trying to learn to read. Continuing to see the letters in different situations, in different words, you really can start to get more of an instinctual feel for reading rather than using the rules all of the time, which can be daunting and frustrating at times. So sometimes I like to just flip through here and listen to the words while I read them and try to make it feel more like a second nature. You can also search for words. So for instance, let's try melon. Okay, and they have watermelon, which I know because my wife wants to name our first dog Tang Mo. How can I argue with that though, right? Now, another feature that this program has is flashcards. Down here at the bottom, if you hit flashcards, you can change the settings of how these function. I wanted to test my reading abilities, so I wanted the first side of the card to have the Thai script on it. But you can use the audio, you can use English, or a transliteration. So then when you tap the flashcard, or the green arrow I should have tapped, it flips over, and you always have the same thing on the back side, which is the audio with the transliteration.
Guy.
See, and it's
Nampig.
and I'm not sure how much of a difference it makes checking it or hitting the X symbol. I would hope that if you hit the X symbol, meaning you got it wrong, that it would return to that word more frequently. But I haven't been using it long enough to see if any patterns emerge. But I can tell you that it did just go back to Tang Mo, which was the one we started with, wasn't it? Maybe I'm wrong. But anyway, I'll give you one more look at these settings real quick here. Now the question type is the front of the card. And when they say deck order, they mean by the transliteration of the word, the romanization of it. And let's just change the magnification here to see how it looks. Put that on 200 and that on 150. So that should be fairly easy for most people to see, I think, at 200%. And if we hit the information button up here, we get a sort of it's just a description of what's involved in the application. It's not a complicated app. That's what I like about it. If there's a particular area that you're concerned about, let's say travel, you want to be able to communicate with people at the airport, you can go through here, pick out the ones that are the most important to you, add those to your word bank, and then go visit your word bank and just repeat these words over and over, hitting next, 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 moving only through your word bank. And then also looking at flashcards of your word bank, which is nice. Or you can just go through all words. They say there's 2001, but I'm kind of wondering if another error I found was not a mistake, in that there are some duplicate words, and I think perhaps 2000 was the magic number they were looking for. And I don't mean to bash this application or the developers. I could be wrong. It could have been an honest mistake. Even if they were just looking for a few extra words to push it over the 2,000 word mark, I still say that this is a valuable application. For customers that paid $10 a piece to get this app, I think we deserve to see improvements, particularly, and this is just one off the top of my head that I remember running into, the workplace category. Your transliterations are coming before the English words, which is not how the app is supposed to operate as far as I understand it. Other than that, I would recommend the app. I just think that some updates are in order.
Alright, thanks for watching, everybody. Stay tuned to mythaireviews.com for all kinds of Thai language learning resources. Take care.